first graders and first grade parents. Usually I am doing a video to help the parents help you, but today I'm going to do a video for the kids, for our ELA. So in the beginning, the very beginning of your reading packet, on your resource page, it has Vulture View, which is our nonfiction main text. And we just included this so that the kids could try to read this on their own. I also wanted to read it to them with the photos so that they can see it. Now, in yesterday's text, let me grab that. All right, in yesterday's text, we talked about how animals get their food in nature. And we're going to continue that today, but instead of looking at a group of animals and how they get their food, we are going to focus on just one animal and how it gets its food. And today's animal is a bit unusual. So when we looked at yesterday's text, we had real photos, and we said that that was one clue that this was a non-fiction text. Well, today we are going to hear a nonfiction text, but this time it has illustrations. So in Vulture View, our author is April Pooley Sayer, and it is illustrated by Steve Jenkins. So even though this is a nonfiction text, meaning it's going to give us real information, real facts, instead of having real photos, it has illustrations. So today when I read, we're going to pause and fill out our main idea and details as we go along. Yesterday I did it after. Today I'm going to do it during. So no big deal, just a different way to do it. All right, our book today is called Vulture View, and our essential question this week is, how do animals survive in nature? And survive is one of your vocabulary words this week. And survive means to stay alive and to thrive. So you've probably talked in science class that animals need food, they need water, they need shelter to help them grow. Specifically today, we're going to read about how a very unusual animal gets its food. And when we think about that word unusual, last week we worked with prefixes, and one of them was un. So I have it right here. Unusual. If I cover up that prefix, usual means the way we always see it, or normal. So when we have the word unusual, that means that the animal we're reading about today is kind of not normal, or it doesn't do things in a normal way. So we're going to read about vultures today. How many of you have ever seen vultures flying around outside? I've seen lots of vultures. My opinion, vultures are not the most adorable animals in the world, but they do have some pretty cool features. All right, here we go with Vulture View. The sun is rising. Up, up, it heats the air. Up, up. All right, if the sun is rising, what time of day is it? Is it morning? Yes. Wings stretch wide to catch a ride on warming air. Going where? All right, pretend you are a vulture. Stretch your wings out wide and catch some air. All right, make a prediction. Where do you think the vulture is going? Let's see if your prediction is right. Up, up. Turkey vultures tilt, soar, scan to find the food that vultures can eat. All right, so already the book has told us about two body parts or two features that help the vultures find their food. And our main idea in this text is going to be that vultures use their bodies to help them find food in an unusual way. So can anyone tell me the two features that vultures have used so far? And your clues are when we did this. And your other clue are these words. Turkey vultures tilt, soar, scan to find. All right, do you know two of the features? Wings, right? They fly to find their food. And what do they scan with? Their eyes. Awesome. So we're going to say vultures use wings to fly and eyes to scan for food. Awesome. Did you also notice that this is a rhyming book? Most nonfiction books are not rhyming, so that's unusual. That snake over there? No, no. That fox over there? No, no. Vultures do not eat this snake, and vultures will not eat this fox. That bear over there? No, no. Vultures smell the air. They sniff the air. Search, seek for foods that reek. Oh, let's stop here for a minute. Do you know what the word reek means? Reek is a very fancy word for smell, and we only use reek when something is very stinky. So if your dad comes home from work and he has stinky socks, you could tell him, "Oh, your socks reek." But did you hear what the text told us? Vultures smell to find foods that reek. They want to eat stinky foods. Isn't that unusual? And if we look at this, do you notice the bones? What kind of foods would typically stink? Food that is already dead. Ugh. So let's write something about that. So what do vultures use? Their sense of smell. So we will say they smell foods that reek. And reek was our E-E sound from last week, if you remember. E-E-K. Ugh, they smell foods that reek. Those fragrant flowers. No, no. That spicy smoke. No, no. That stinky dead deer. Yes, yes. So, vultures do not want to eat those live animals that we saw earlier, that snake that was living, the bear that was living, the fox that was living, or these very beautiful and fragrant flowers. No, they want that nasty rotting deer. Vultures like a mess. They land and dine. Rotten is fine. Aren't you glad you're not a vulture? Ugh, I am. They eat, they clean, splash, dry, preen. So this page had some words that are a little bit tough for us. What this is telling us is that when the vulture is done eating, it cleans itself. And how it does that is it splashes into a lake or a river or some type of water and dries off, and then it preens. And that just means that it takes care of its feathers. But I'm going to pause here for a minute, because what is unusual, when we read our text last week, all of these animals ate something that was alive and smelling good to them, right? Some of the animals ate plants, but they didn't eat dead plants. Some of the animals ate meat, but not dead meat. Some of the animals ate both. They weren't picky. They would eat meat or plants, but they all ate fresh meat or plants. The vultures are very different in that they like to eat rotten food. Ugh, and that's what makes them unusual. So we are going to say vultures eat dead, rotten food. And that makes me make a face like this. At least they clean themselves off when they're done, right? They take a bath. They preen. They hop, flap, soar to look for more all afternoon. But soon the sun starts to sink. Down, down, down. The air starts to cool. Down, down. Wings glide, wings ride through the cooling air. Going where? Going down, down, down. So this book started out in the early morning when the sun was just rising. And now it is the afternoon, almost evening. Actually, it is evening, and we can see that the sun is setting. And we know this from our own experience, right? The air warms up during the day, and then as the sun starts to rise, it cools down. This makes me think, I know that when the sun is hot, it would make those animals that are dead smell worse, right? The sun would heat it up. So it would be easier for the vultures to find it during the day. But when the air starts to cool, those animals wouldn't stink as much. So it would be harder for the vultures to hunt. So it makes sense that they hunt during the daytime when it's very warm. The vultures gather in vulture trees, settle and sleep like families. So even though the vulture is very different in what it eats compared to us, it still does go to sleep at night with its family. In the morning, sun rises, up, up. It heats the air, up, up. Wings stretch wide, stick your wings out again to catch a ride on warming air. Going where? Up, up. And what are they going to do the next day when the sun comes up and it gets warm? They're going to go hunt for more dead, rotten food. So that was our text today, Vulture View. And now I'm going to talk to moms and dads. So if you are watching, you can tell mom or dad or gram or your adult that they can come back and hear this now. So your two sheets today, in addition to just talking to them about the text that we read, it's going to be our past and present tense verbs. So you're going to have to go back to your grammar education when you were in school. And they are going to choose between go or went to talk about today or in the past, and then do or did. And again, your kids just may need some help reading these. One thing I would suggest is that if they are having trouble deciding what word goes there, you can certainly write in 2 words and just give them a choice. So this sentence says, animals blank a lot of work. And this is something that they do in the present. So the 2 words that we would want them to choose between are go and do. So you can just simply write go and do and have them read the sentence like that. Animals go a lot of work. Animals do a lot of work, and have them circle it. So that's just a way to adapt it if your child's having trouble, just writing it in on their own. But in this one, pretty self-explanatory. They're just picking the correct verb. And then we have another one of our little comprehension sheets that is the focus skill for our phonics, which is our OA. So again, read the questions first. That way they train their brain to know what they're looking for. Have them read this. If they're absolutely stuck on reading this, do a repeat read. And that would be where you read, there was once a toad on a boat. They repeat it. But for the most part, a lot of the kiddos are going to be able to read this on their own, just with those reading strategies that I told you about. So those are your 2 sheets today. And I will be back for more tomorrow. Happy Tuesday.